channel, and if you're new here, welcome. So for this video, I'm going to be asking friends and family to pick my reads for this month. I'm going to basically have them choose between two books. When I'm done with one, I'll just go to the other one. But yeah, I'm going to have them choose between two books. And the two books right now for this first time is going to be Rebel Rose by Emma Theriault. I can't pronounce her name. And then the second is going to be Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I've been dying to read this book for a long time, so I really hope they pick this one. I think this one, I think she's an ice skater and he's like a hockey player, and they have to share the ice ring. It might be like an enemy to lovers. Really don't know what this is about, but I've heard around that it's really, really good. So I'm hoping for this one. And then this one has, I think it's like a series of the Queen's Council. Council? Yeah, something like that. And this book has to do with Belle after she broke the curse and basically she becomes queen. Belle has broken the enchantress curse, restoring the beast to his human form and bringing life back to their castle in the Principality of Avon. Once she dreamed of leaving her provincial home for a little adventure, but now she finds herself living in palace, torn between her past as a commoner and her future as royalty. While Belle grapples with her newfound position, there are those who would do anything to keep her from power. So basically, yeah, it's about Belle after she becomes, like, I guess, queen. We need a second movie when she gets married to the beast. So yeah. So I'm gonna text one of my sisters and send them a picture and see what they choose for me. So I sent her the message and sent her the pictures. I had already told them about this whole video I was gonna make and just letting them know to wait for a message because I wasn't sure who I was gonna pick first. And I have several other people I want to pick, but yeah, so I kind of explained to her about how I already told her and just wanted her to choose between those two books, see what she chooses. So now we'll wait till she chooses and I'll come back and update you guys on it. So she texted back and she picked this one. I know, I'm so sad, but it's okay. I actually had started it and then I put it down and I never finished it. Maybe I want to say I only did like one chapter. And then I'm like, no, I'm not in the mood for it. But let's hope I'm in the mood for it. But I really did want to read Icebreaker. But she says she judged the book by its cover and she thought this one was prettier. And I totally get it because this one is really pretty. But yeah, so this one's our first book. And yeah, let's start reading and I'll come back and give you my thoughts on it. Oh my god. Hello. I wanted to give you an update on Rebel Rose. I am not much in. I'm not halfway there yet. But I'm going to read a little bit more. It's just been a little busy today. But I am actually liking it so far. It's mainly like politics, I want to say. Because this is based off 1789. It's like based off on the French Revolution and stuff. But obviously it's like has to do with Belle and the Beast. They basically, it's like I said, it's politics, and it is 10 years in the future after Belle breaks the spell. So it's after 10 years of that, and it's like her having to cope with her being married to a prince. And she doesn't want to take the title of princess or anything like that. And because of all this thing that happening with the French Revolution and King Louis and all that stuff, the Beast becomes the king. So she doesn't want to take the title of queen. And it's like they have to deal with the aftermath of the curse. So the Beast is dealing with the aftermath, and like everybody else that was cursed in the castle, they're dealing with all that too. And after 10 years, it's like they still can't get over it. So it's pretty good so far, but it's mostly politics. And yeah, so I'm gonna keep on reading and see what this book is, like what the finish is, because I think there's still like it still has to do with something with the enchantress who gave him the curse and like magic and stuff like that. So I'm really intrigued to see what happens next. But I did want to show you guys, I did mention in one of my other videos that I was waiting for 2 books my husband had bought me, which is Legendary and Finale. I am so excited to read these. I'm actually gonna put this one in one of my my stack, which I have like nothing but like series to continue. So you'll see this one in one of my next videos, and then the Finale I'm gonna put in one of my stack that has finished series that are started. So you'll see this one in another of my videos. I don't know when, but you'll see them soon. So I'm really excited. These covers are so pretty. So pretty. But anyways. Alright, well, let's keep on reading and see where this book takes us. Alright, so I finally finished Rebel Rose, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I saw that it was rated really low in Goodreads, and I can see why, because it's nothing but politics. It starts getting better, like, what is he, like 80% in the book? Like towards the end. Basically, the Beast turns into a king, and there's like, they're in the between the like the French Revolution, and so there's like a person that's trying to kill the king, and like their surroundings, like their people, and so they're trying to find out who it is. That's when it starts getting like really good, but most of it, it's like politics. And then so my sister messaged, and I asked her to choose between those 2 books, and she chose November 9th. I've heard a lot of controversy about this book, and it's good, it's bad, it's okay, but I don't even know what this book is about, honestly. Like, I'm going into this book really blind. So yeah, let's hop into it and see what this book is about, and I'll update you guys as soon as I have an update. Hi, just here to give you guys an update. I don't remember if I told you guys what books I had to choose from, but it was Powerless and November 9th, which obviously we got this one, which I really wanted Powerless, but it's okay. We can probably read that one next month. Anyways, update. That's how much I have left on this book. Oh my god. I am seriously, at first I was kind of bored, and I was not bored. I was just I was not interested in the story. Basically about this girl who she suffers like in a fire that I guess she blames her dad for, because her dad kind of like forgot that she was at his house, and she got burned because nobody took her out of the house. And then she like struggles with her confidence after that, and she like, her and her dad are fighting because basically her dad's calling her ugly, and she doesn't have, like, she's not pretty enough to be like an actress. And then this guy comes and like defends her, and like, you know, they start kind of like liking each other, or like talking, and then they like each other, and then they made like a promise to see each other every November 9th, which is when like the anniversary of the fire happened, and that's when they met. So, and then right now I'm at this part where I'm just like shocked about it. Like, honestly, like, it's good. It's getting like to the good part, but I was just kind of like, what the fuck is going on with this book? But it's good. It's getting really good. It's no like I'm like literally don't know what to say. I mostly been listening to the audio today. I did read a little bit at the beginning, but I've been listening to most of the audio because I've been doing a lot of things right now. So I just finished reading November 9. And there was like a whole twist in the end, but it was good. Really good book. I was crying. Did not expect to cry through this book, but I did. And it was great. I pushed myself through it because like I first mentioned, when I started reading it, I was like, I'm not liking it. And I started listening. I still didn't like it. And I just pushed through it, and then I started liking it more and more. And then so I posted on my Instagram. I was like, I'm not sure about this book. Somebody said just keep going. So I mean, I was already going, like I didn't stop, so I kept going through it. And then and they were right. It is a good book. Really did like it. And now my choices are gonna be between Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell and Flawless by Elsie Silver. I have been wanting to read this book for a while, so I'm hoping that this one gets picked. But I'm gonna send the message and we'll see what they tell me. So I did send the message. I kind of forgot to explain to her what it was about. Just kind of told her pick a book. But I did tell her, and she did pick Then She Was Gone. I started reading it before I recorded. I totally forgot to update you guys, but I'm reading chapter 10. Apparently this is about a girl who disappears. I think it's like what I'm not liking. Well, not that I'm not liking. It's just like kind of like mixing up. Is that they're like going back and forth in the past and the present. So it's kind of confusing in that point. But I think it's her daughter gets lost or something like that. She's been missing, I think it's been 10 years. I think she was missing for 10 years, but nobody knows what happened. The police think she ran away. Mom's like, no, she didn't. But you know, so it's barely the beginning, barely chapter 10. It's good. I feel like this whole my friends and family pick books that, you know, like pick books. All the books that they picked so far, it's like the book that I didn't want to read because it's like out of my comfort zone. And so far, all the like the 2 books that have been picked out of my comfort zone, I have really enjoyed them a lot. And this one, so far, it's good. And as I was like telling my sister, my other sister's the one that picked this. I'm like, jeez. I'm like, you guys are picking all the books I don't want to read. And she just started laughing. But I was like, no, it's a good thing. It's getting me out of my comfort zone. Because I'm like more of a romance girl. So I'm like, I just want to read romance. And that's what it was. Since all of them had the romance. And all of them, actually, no. The only one that didn't pick, the one that, it was a romance and not a fairy tale. The only different one that wasn't a romance was the one between November 9th and Powerless, which that's more like a fantasy book. And I really wanted to read Powerless, and they chose November 9th, which it wasn't bad, like I mentioned, but I heard Powerless is like so good. But anyways, let's continue reading. Because I think for this video, I'm going to have one more pick, and that might be it. Hi. I've literally been reading for like 2 hours. I think I woke up like at 10, and I immediately grabbed the book, and I've been reading. And it is 12:36. And I have like this much left of the book. I am like, whoa. When I first picked it up, I was like in the 10th chapter, maybe 15, 12, not sure. And I was like, okay, I already know what happened. And then I kept reading, and I was like changing my theory. Okay, this happened. And then I changed my theory again, and this happened. But it was like close to what really happened, but not exactly. So I kind of figured out in a way, but not really. But like 50% of it I figured out, the other 50 I didn't. But it's been so good, and I'm like, I wanted to say like last, the last 8 chapters, which I'm excited about this. Like I mentioned, all the picks that everybody did was not what I wanted to read. They've been really good so far. Alright, so I finally finished and she was gone. Oh my god, amazing book. The only thing it was really confusing to me was when they were going like back and forth, and they had like different POVs, but they didn't tell you whose point of view it was. It was just kind of, just had to read it, and then you kind of, oh, this is his, or oh, this is hers. So they didn't really tell you like in other books, like they put the name on there and they just tell you their point of view. It was like kind of you had to figure out, but then it was going back in time, and then it came back to the present, so it was kind of confusing at first. And then it was like, I think it was like 5 parts, if I'm not mistaken. That's what is it. And I think like the last 2 parts, I think 5 and 6 or 4 and 5, the last 2 parts were different like people, and then the first half of the book, I don't know, it was so confusing in that point, because of how it was just different point of views and like different timelines and stuff. But it was such a good book. I did not expect to even like it, because I was like, this is not what I usually read. But really, really good. Now I'm gonna go see my 2 choices, and I'll be right back. My next 2 choices for the next pick is gonna be Me Before You by Jojo Moyes and My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This one's a little different than what I read. I think it's like a teenage girl, and if I'm not mistaken, she like has a relationship with her teacher, and she thinks nothing wrong of it. I think until she's like older, that's when she sees she did something wrong. I'm not sure. Not sure what it is exactly about. I really do want to read this one. So yeah, she was 15 years old, I guess, when she started dating this teacher. And then like 17 years later, there was a girl says that, so the man has been accused of SA by a former student who reaches out to Vanessa, and now Vanessa suddenly finds herself facing an impossible choice: remain silent, firm in the belief that her teenage self willingly engage in this relationship, or refine herself in the event of her past. Wow. Okay. This sounds really good, and I really am excited to read this one. And obviously, this one's Me Before You. We've all seen the movie, right? I mean, I hope we've seen the movie, but basically she gets this job at a place, and she's taking care of this guy who's like completely paralyzed from like the neck down, if I'm not mistaken. The movie broke me, and I heard the book is like worse. So let's send a message, and let's see what they choose for us. Be right back. Alright, so it is the next day. I totally forgot to update you guys yesterday what book they chose for me, but it was My Dark Vanessa, and I am in page 60. I didn't read much yesterday. I had a very emotional day, and I fell asleep from like 6, maybe. from 6 o'clock. I just finished making dinner and I just fell asleep. And I did read about like 46 pages yesterday. And then I just read 20 more pages right now. We're only about 20 pages. Yeah, so far it's really good. I like that the back and forth has, because it is like a back and forth. I think it's this whole thing with the teacher happened in 2000, and then she goes into the future or the present where the teacher's getting accused of SA, and it's 2017, so it's like 17 years later. She's about 32, I think, on here, because when this whole thing happened she was 15. And so it's like 2017, so it's 17. Yeah, I think she's about 32. I don't think they say the age, not that I know of yet. But the teacher's very old. Well, not like old, maybe like 60s. I think they did mention his age, but I'm not sure. I can't remember. But I've been going like back and forth with the audio.
Because it's been a week. A whole week since Mr. Strain touched me. A few times. His eyes stay on me with a sudden clarity, I think. And he appears, as do the boughs overhead, the orange dead needle carpet beneath our feet. Don't smoke, Mr. Strain says. It's a nasty habit. He exhales, and the cigarette smell fills my head.
I totally forgot to show you guys the message and what they picked and all that. This is my best friend, and I kind of knew she was gonna pick my Dark Vanessa because of, I don't know, she likes like dark colors and just dark. She gifted me I forgot the name of the book, The Fallen Kingdom of the Wicked. She gifted me the series, which I had in my Amazon wish list. She gave it to me for my birthday, and she said the only reason she actually gifted it to me was because she liked the cover. So the cover of the books are like these, and she said it was really cool, so that's why she gifted me these. So I kind of knew she was gonna pick my Dark Vanessa over the Me Before You book. Hello, I literally was busy. I was so busy all day today. I'm almost done. I didn't finish today. I've been in parties and been doing a lot of things today, and I read most of this last night. I was babysitting, and I was just sitting on the couch till like 12 reading. I am really liking this book so far. It's just I want to throw it against the wall every 5 seconds because of how stressful it is. Like, it's basically a man grooming a 42-year-old man grooming a 15-year-old girl. It's just very cringing to read. Like, every time he tries to like twist it and blame her, or not blame, yeah, like make her feel bad about something or blame her for everything. And then he twists it so she could feel bad about it, and then she feels bad, and it's like, oh, well, I can't do that to him because he loves me. And I'm just like, oh my god, don't be a pendeja. Like, oh, it's just irritating. This book, it's so annoying, but it's good. It's like I mentioned earlier that it goes back and forth from 2000 to 2017, so it's like that timeline. And it's like 2001, 2002, and I think I'm in 2006 right now. She might be either graduating college or still in college, but around that time. But she's like still seeing this man, and it's just basically the story of how it started when they were little, when she was young, until like her being older. But it's just like I don't know, it's just very shocking. Like, this book, like I mentioned, it's good, but it's like I want to throw you against the wall every 5 seconds because of all the dumb choices you're making, like this girl is making in here. But dude, this is like real life. Like, I read that this book is inspired in like her life events or something like that. So it is based off things that really do happen in the world, and it's very heartbreaking, and it's difficult because like sometimes we don't see that we're like, as when we're younger, we don't see that we're doing wrong. We're like, oh, whatever, you know. But then as we grow, it's like, what the heck? This isn't right, you know. But yeah, it's hard book, but I'm gonna maybe finish this tonight or tomorrow morning. But I will let you guys know what I think about it when I'm done with it. So I finally finished my Dark Vanessa, and I have come to the end of the video. I'm gonna show you the books that I've read. The first one was Rebel Rose. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Basically, if you want to know what happened after Belle broke the spell, go read this. It is really good. Like I mentioned earlier, it does talk more about politics than anything. And then to like towards the end of the book, it gets like a little bit more like fast pacing, but this is really good. And the next one is November 9 by Colleen Hoover, which I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, which also was really good. I was kind of bored getting into it, but I had to push myself a little bit to go through it, and it was good. It basically just it's like they meet every November 9th, and they both have history with that date, but we don't know what it is until the end of the book. And it's just great how it reveals and everything, and it's like a whole twist for me that I did not expect coming, but really good. Now That She Was Gone, this one was so good. I kind of figured it out, I want to say like 10 15-ish chapter what was happening. I got some things wrong, so it was like kind of like a twist for me at the end, but it was really good read. I give this 4.5 out of 5 stars. Really, really good read. And basically this is about a girl who disappears, and then it jumps it like, the only thing I did not like about this book is how jump in time, like it goes from the past to the present, and it has different POVs that you don't know like whose POV it is until you like keep reading. You're like, oh, this is this one, and it doesn't really tell you like when it's jumping back and forth. It just says then, like when it, I think when it's like the past, I think, yeah, when it's the past it just says then, but then so it's like kind of confusing. And then like I think the last 3, because it's parts, maybe the last 2 parts, it has different POVs, so it's kind of like, what? Like you don't know whose POV it is because it doesn't tell you until you're actually reading it. That's like the only thing I did not like about this book, but I like the story. Like I mentioned, it's a girl that she is mysteriously disappears and nobody knows what happens to her, and it isn't until 10 years later they find her bones, and that's when mom can have like a funeral and stuff. But then she's like trying to, she's not trying to figure out what happens, but because of where she's at or who she's with, she kind of figures it out without her like trying to figure it out. I don't know if you understand a little bit, but yeah, really good book. And then my Dark Vanessa, 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think the only reason I gave this a 4.5 is because she doesn't really cope at the end with it. Like she's still hurting over what happened, and I thought at the end she was gonna be like help the person that asked for the help over this whole thing. But I don't know, like it's just really weird. I just didn't like the ending of the story, but everything else was good. Like it was so, I wanted to throw this book at the wall every 5 seconds every time I read this, pick this up. I did have to take breaks because it was a kind of a hard book. And I do want to say, if you actually want to read this, you need to look up like the trigger warnings. There is a lot of talk about SA in this, and I guess age gap too, like teacher student kind of thing. So yeah, but this is about a girl who has like an affair with a teacher when she's 15 years old, and she basically has to go through that her whole life over that, and it kind of destroyed her in a way. 2017, there's a girl accusing the same teacher of basically doing the same thing, like having an appropriate relationship with her. And so it kind of goes back to Vanessa at this point, and she like tries to like not cope with it, but like deal with it, I guess. She tries to deal with all that information, and the girl is trying to get Vanessa to help her, and Vanessa's like, but he did nothing. She thinks everything in her mind, she thinks that it's like correct, like nothing happened that was wrong, like everything that they did was perfectly fine because she allowed it to happen. So yeah, it was good. Just every 5 seconds wanted to throw this book at the wall. But it was really good. But yeah, if you do want to read this, I really suggest that you look up trigger warnings before you read this book. So these were the books that were chosen by my family and friends, and I was really excited about this read because, like I mentioned, some of these were out of my comfort zone. I really did want to read this one, but this one's out of my comfort zone too. But I'm really glad I read all these to get a little bit out of my comfort zone. This is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.